What's up, Essence Fest? How y'all doing? Welcome back to the Sway Men's Lounge. And we have an amazing, amazing conversation with three great panelists. Black men has always been at the center of the movement, organizing, marching, and demanding change. Today, Kenny Burns sits down with Congressman Troy Carter and the Reverend Al Sharpton for a real conversation about power, policy, and what it means to show up for black men right now. Please welcome Mr. Kenny Burns, Congressman Troy Carter, and Reverend Al Sharpton. Yes, sir.
How y'all feeling? Y'all feeling good? Happy birthday to all the Kansas, first and foremost. I know it's Kansas season. Some of y'all celebrating the birthday. Congressman Troy Carter, make some noise, ladies and gentlemen. The legendary Reverend Al Sharpton. So happy to be able to spend America's 250 with these amazing gentlemen. Let's have a seat, you guys. How you feeling today at Essence Festival of Culture 2026?
Fantastic. I'm great.
You look good, Rev.
I feel good.
You got it on, Rev.
I do.
Yeah. Congressman Troy Carter, we are in your home state. There's nothing like the Essence Festival of Culture. And how important is that to your city and state, the city of New Orleans and the state of Louisiana?
Well, listen, I was a part of I served on the New Orleans City Council when we first attracted Essence to this city 30 plus years ago.
Right.
So now today, being a member of the United States Congress, recognizing that Essence is more than just a party, it's a party with a purpose.
That's right.
And on this 250th anniversary of our country, time for us to talk about what America needs to do to make it better for the next 250.
That's right. Reverend Al Sharpton, I've been seeing you outside forever at Essence Festival of Culture. What does Essence mean to you?
Essence means everything to me. I was here the first Essence Festival.
Make some noise for that. The very first.
And I've not missed any, even when they had to go to Houston because of Katrina. I've spoken to everyone, and I was thinking as I was walking around today that the first one, I did the panel with Reverend Jackson.
Wow.
And a couple others, John Lewis, that are no longer here. So I feel like I'm continuing to hold a tradition because Essence is about purpose, and Essence is about the best of our culture. So they're celebrating 1776. I'm celebrating that we survived since 1776.
Come on. Listen, I'm so honored to be here with both of you amazing gentlemen. I want to start this conversation off because black men have always been central to the movements, to justice, and change. What does the responsibility look like right now in this moment for us?
To love each other, to stand together, not allow anybody to divide us. See, there's a movement out there, and sometimes it's within our own group.
Social media,
social this. Listen, we are Democrats, we're black folk, we're not a monolith. We can have different ideas, different philosophies. What we cannot do is allow outside forces to divide us among ourselves. Listen,
amen.
there are far too few of us to be working against each other.
That's right.
There's a responsibility for us to spend more time talking to each other and less time about each other.
Listen, I love the era that you both come from, and I want you to answer that question too, because it was gatekeeping the way we needed to be gatekept. There's so much hate keeping happening in the world, to your point. And the reason why I want to say social media is because there's so much misinformation and disinformation on these platforms that continuously divide us. So how important is this moment?
It's very important. And see, the thing I think that brings us together, as the Congressman referred to, talking to each other, is the fact is that we all don't do the same thing. We have different lanes. He's a legislator. I'm an activist and host a radio and TV show. But if we are all in our lane headed to the same place, as long as you don't switch lanes without a signal, we won't have an accident.
That's right.
And the other challenge to black men, for the black men that when we were here 2 years ago and was supporting Kamala Harris, they were saying, I can't support a woman. Well, now that you're paying higher gas prices and now that you can't afford living, how you like her now?
Come on. If you believe that
part.
black women run the world, say yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're at a pivotal time. When we talk about power, policy, and progress, what are the issues impacting black men that need more urgent attention? I personally think we tend to fall into the patriarchal system too much, thinking money is better than community, that we should choose money over our women, our families. And I just think we're in a weird place that we need some reconciling.
Can I pivot just a little bit off
Absolutely.
that one? We need health care. Black men need to be healthy. We have to recognize that we got to take care of ourselves. We can't be good men to our women. We can't be good fathers to our children. We can't be good men in the community if we aren't healthy. If you think about what happens when you get on an airplane, put your mask on first. So when we talk about prostate cancer, we talk about having your colonoscopy, we talk about mental health. See, we've been taught as black men, as men in general, but particularly black men, suck it up. Big boys don't cry. So we have learned to adopt and adapt to pain and not get help. Well, your body gives you signals. Like you're driving your fancy BMW and the check engine light comes on, you pull that thing over because you don't want to blow a gasket. But when you got that persistent pain in your chest, in your arm, that headache that won't go away, that's your body telling you something. We don't have to die at a young age. If you get pre-screening, if you go to the doctor, if you make sure that you're taking care of yourself, and listen, from a mental health standpoint, brothers and sisters, it's okay to not be okay sometimes. It's not okay to ignore it, because with medicine, diet, and counseling, you can have a wonderful life. You are not alone.
Amen.
No, I think that we've got to redefine manhood so that one of the things is you shouldn't be hitting women with a pillow.
That was not, that Rev, stop. I've been married 27
I couldn't
years.
resist that one. But anyway, we got to, Lord forgive them.
Touche, brother.
I think that manhood is not playing macho games.
Yes.
Manhood is taking responsibility. And I think that we have allowed Hollywood and music world, the negative side, to redefine manhood. That I can, like he said, not look out for health. I can make babies that I'm not going to take care of. A man takes care of the responsibilities, and we need to define manhood that way. My father left when I was 10, but James Brown, the Godfather of Soul, I knew his son. He took me in as a son. Jesse took me in as a son. And that's manhood, because you got to teach a man how to be a man from another man. And
Amen.
if a man is not being a man, he can't teach a man how to be that.
That's right. Make some noise for the Rev. That's gospel before Sunday. Congressman Carter, from the halls of Congress to communities here in Louisiana, what does it mean to turn advocacy into policy that actually reaches people?
So I grew up in a community in Algiers called the Cutoff. So I often say from the cutoff to the Congress. And what it means is to sit at tables that we were never allowed to sit at, although many of which we built. To be in the room when we're talking about policy, not just for black folk, but for all folk, to make sure that health care is affordable, unlike the big ugly law that strips some 17 million health care policies away from people. Being in the room makes a difference. Listen, we're outnumbered in the United States Congress. We're further outnumbered when you talk about the 64 members of the Congressional Black Caucus. But guess what we don't do? We don't run. We don't quit. We don't cry. We show up. We fight. We learn how to maneuver and use technique and technicalities to move the ball for the American people. So I will say that to say, just because we are outnumbered in votes, we're never outvoiced in effort. And
Amen.
so showing up, being in the room makes a difference. There was once when we had no members of the Congressional Black Caucus. Then we had 1, then we had 3, then we had 7, then we had 20. Well, now we got 64 and building. Our presence will be seen, felt, and heard for generations to come. And all of you play an important role of being a part of that. All of you, albeit, as the good Rev just said, different lanes, but equally as important.
Amen. Rev Sharpton, you spent decades organizing, marching, and holding systems accountable. What lessons from the past movements still apply in this very moment?
You have to be able to capture the imagination of the community, to give them, even in dark times, hope. You can't organize people by telling them we can't do it. We have faced things worse than this. We have beat people worse than Trump. If we could beat slavery, segregation, we can certainly handle Donald Trump.
Yes, sir.
Don't let people guerrilla us. Like we face much harder adversity. So we've got to dramatize. My job is to keep the issue out there, like others before me did. His job is to change it in the law. But if we are afraid to put our issue out there, everybody talking about everything other than us, so you got to break in the conversation. People always saying, why is Remal always marching? Why Remal raising sand? Because the people that are victims want the attention on that. Don't nobody call me to keep a secret. They call me to make some noise. We need to make noise until everybody understands.
Yes, using your voice is most important. And I think the fear tactics are at an all-time high. I mean, and it's so overabundant because of social media. But the one thing that is true is that that's a small faction of people if you think about who's in power and who is America. Can you speak to that a little bit? Because I think people, to Rev's point, they get confused. Like, it's so bad, it's so dark. He's so crazy. He says all the crazy things, but it's just hyperbole on some levels.
Well, listen, it is dark, and he is crazy, and he does say stupid things, but he ain't going to beat us.
That's right.
Because hate cannot fly for a sustained trip. He's on a flight, but hate cannot fly
like
for a
that.
sustained trip. All we have to do, as my mother would always say, keep our hands clean before the Lord and do his will. Keep showing up, keep loving each other, and never quit. Listen, I am not going to sugarcoat how bad it is for us. It's bad. This man is seeking to turn our Constitution upside down, to take away the guardrails of the checks and balance system, to have a Supreme Court that's complicit in letting him do whatever he wants. See, in the 60s and 70s, we always had the courts that we can depend on being able to at least have the courts to fight
be heard.
for us, to have a federal government to send in marshals if local and state officials weren't recognizing us. He's taken that away, but guess what? Project 2025 is in our rearview mirror because we're building Project 2026, 27, and 28, and it's going to be built like the Freedom Riders built it, with a voting card at the ballot box.
Let's put some time limits on that Supreme Court. Rev, how do you feel about that same question?
No, I think that we definitely need to, first of all, we need to have an offensive strategy rather than defensive. A guy stopped me at the airport about 3 weeks ago, and he said, Remal, what are y'all going to do about crime in your community? I said, well, first of all, we are against crime. But I said, why would you ask me that? Well, you know, I'm a Republican, and I voted for Trump because I'm worried about crime. I said, so let me get this right. The way you fight crime is put a man convicted of 34 felonies in the White House. There's no bigger criminal in the history of the country than Donald Trump. So we got to stop apologizing for the negative in our community.
Come on, Ray.
Deal with it and call them out. They got a thug in the White House who is
A real thug, a real
who's robbing the Treasury. This man made $2 billion last year. And they telling me about somebody that stole a piece of chicken from Popeyes? Let's be serious about this.
It's unbelievable to even think that the level of grifting, the level of stealing, the people that, and I want you to do this too, and this is off the script for 2 seconds. Remember these people's faces. Pete Hegseth, remember these people's faces. J.D. Vance, they will be here long after Donald Trump is gone, but his ideology is living well in their brains, rent-free. Do not forget these faces. What's the one, the bald-headed one, the real one in the office that I'm very scared of?
Stephen Miller.
Stephen Miller.
Stephen Miller. Put him on a board like the mob, the police, and the FBI did the mob, and put him at the top of it.
10 most unwanted.
That's what. Listen, but don't forget these things. But we got to get to this voting process. This is a huge year for us, meaning Democrats. Now we have a bunch of different factions starting, socialists and all types of things within the party. I don't want to go there.
We don't want to go there.
I don't want to go there, but I
And
do
I'm
want
gonna
to
say
go to
real
the
quickly,
importance.
where we need to go is you can be as independent in your thinking as you want.
Yes.
We cannot let people divide us on the things that are most important.
Facts, but this is what I wanted to say. The best idea wins. If Mandamni is doing the things and turning
That's
the
right.
corner,
That's
take
exactly
the
right.
ideas and
Yeah.
put them on the list.
Bingo.
And we're not in that debate. I told Mandani, I told AOC, it's not in our community capitalism against socialism. How we capitalists, we couldn't get capital.
Right.
The problem is we can't get the money.
Facts.
So y'all arguing about stuff that don't mean nothing to us.
And Brother Ken, let me be clear lest anybody misunderstand my comment. What I say is, be all those things you want to be. You don't have, they're not mutually exclusive. We can be all that under the color of the rainbow in our party as long as we're all fighting for equal pay for women.
That's right.
Minimum wage for all of our workers, an educational system that works, an environment where people can breathe and drink clean water, education and opportunities, no foreign wars where we're sending our young people to die and we're sending billions of dollars to other people while we're dying on the streets of America. That's what all of our universal issues are.
And these data centers, I want to bring this up too, because I think if you look at what Elon Musk did by being the head of Doge for 2.5 weeks so he can get his data centers placed in these communities are going to be poisoned by that type thing. Ain't nobody thinking about Mars. We're thinking about the problems here on Earth. And I think too, like locally, statewide, obviously national, in what you do in you're explaining the narrative to our communities. We have to talk about why these things can't exist in our communities. Right now in Tennessee, they have an unregulated data mining system, and it's polluting the area. What are we going to do about these things, and how can we stop it?
Well, I think we, instead of saying stop it, we've got to stop them from doing things without talking to us and making sure it's good for us. And so then we stop it. You've got to come and explain to the community, what is a data center? Most people don't even know what it is. They don't know what it produces. They hear that it's going to be jobs. They hear that it's good for this and that. What we're not hearing is, how is it going to be good for my community? Am I going to get those jobs? Is it going to impact the price of my utilities? Am I going to have some environmental issues as a result of it? Will it be a drain on my power source? Will it be a drain to my community? See, you can't think that you can sneak these things in our communities in the middle of the night. You've got to talk to the people. And so if they are interested in doing anything, and I tell them, they come and see me, hey man, don't talk to me. Have you talked to the community? Because you've got to talk to the people where they live. You can't come to 1, 2, 10, 12 of us and ignore the people in the community who are going to be impacted. When I served on the city council years ago and developers came in and want to do something, I always forced them to have community meetings.
That's right.
Talk to the community people. Hear their concerns. Tell them you boast about all these jobs and how much money you're going to bring. Tell me how many of them are going to get those jobs. Tell me that it's environmentally sound. Tell me it's not going to be a drain on traffic in their community. Tell me it's not going to crack up their streets with heavy trucks. So you've got to make them
Understand
and talk to the people. Otherwise, they'll run over.
And you got to make them train. One of the things National Action Network has done, followed the model of the American Federation of Teachers. We need training on AI. Before you even talk about a center, you can't take our jobs and we are not equipping people in the community on AI. It ain't going nowhere. People were saying the internet won't last.
You can't replace humans.
You cannot replace humans. You must train them. And we making them put up the money to do that. I'm not supporting centers, but I am saying you're going to train us on AI or you shouldn't be able to get any legislation through.
Come on, OG. Talk that talk. Make some noise for that statement. Y'all don't realize how the creator economy, the creative communities are suffering because of AI, and they're not telling us all the things, and you're absent. Teach us more. All right, we have 2 more questions, and I might open it up for a couple questions in the audience. How do you get more black men engaged beyond election cycles? I feel like we get hyped up when it's time and some want to be on the fence because it's convenient or they don't like women. I'm saying how I feel. But what do we do to engage them ongoing?
by doing something for them, by listening to them, by including them. We just can't ask people to vote for us and then I'll see you 2 or 4 years later. We've got to create an economy that works for them. We've got to create second chances for our brothers that may have been incarcerated. We've got to make sure that there are opportunities for health care, mental health particularly. And then we've got to create a system where they're not being pitted against sisters. See, it's not a sister's success against a black man's success. It's people's success together. And sometimes when you hear the brothers say, well, I'm not voting for that sister, man, too many black women. What are you talking about?
That sounds crazy.
That is crazy. Brother,
You love your mama?
If you don't recognize that black women are the backbone of our community, past, present, and future,
That's right.
then you lost something.
And I want to say this, black women, please don't ever give up on us. Please, if you don't care, we don't have a community.
That's right.
And I just get sad when I hear this music and it's so disrespectful and degrading and dividing. We need y'all. I've been married 27 years to a black woman. I got 2 black boys, and I'm raising them in this world that is actually insane. I mean, the things that imagine waking up, all the 70 babies, let me see your hands high in the sky. Imagine us growing up, having to compete and compare every day on the phone before you even brush your teeth. How do you feel about that, Rev? Because you,
I
Let
think
me just say one thing before you get
let
there.
Rev.
You got to manage expectations, though.
Yeah.
You're talking about the black men, black women, but black men, it ain't going to change overnight. I know it's been a long time coming, but we cannot get weary.
But we also have to never let our expectations exceed our effort. We as black men want a whole lot, but we don't work for the shit.
But
I'm
we
sorry.
gotta
I ain't mean to
That's-
curse. I ain't mean to curse. My bad. Sorry, Rev.
I'm going to have to pray for you again. But anyway, but the other thing I think, to go to your question about how to keep them politically involved, people need to understand that everything they do is the result of a political decision.
Facts.
The food you eat was cleared by the Food and Drug Administration. The clothes you wear, your drawers, had to go through apparel before it was allowed to be sold. So why would you let political people make decisions for you and you may not participate? Fact that you drop out don't mean that you're not governed by that. And I have a friend of mine in Harlem, believing, back in the day, he wanted to overthrow the government, revolution. He run into me and we talked, and he was saying to me about 6 months ago, you remember, Al, I see you out there marching, doing whatever, but I keep telling you, I don't believe in the system. We got to overthrow the government and da-da-da. And we there back and forth, a debate we done had 40 years. He said, oh, man, let me get ready to go. I got to go get my Social Security check. I said, I thought you don't believe in the system.
That's ironic. On the Poly Alert show, my show, I talk about news and culture, and I'm often amazed at that. How do they not see that it all comes back to one thing? Why do you think these folks died so you could vote? The only way to play the game or win it is to be in it.
That's right.
This is going to get us up out of here, and I hope we have time for one more question. I'm going to come over there. Let me get this last question out. As we close, matter of fact, let me get this question. You got a question?
Thank you all for being here. Reverend Sharpton, you frequently tell us that our struggle will keep continuing as black people. We realize that after November 3rd, when we're successful, when we vote, what do you see that we're going to have to do? What are the initial issues that we face when we see that we're going to be able to keep our democracy?
I think the first thing, and a great question, the first thing is that we are highlighting, kicking off this voting by having a big march August 28th in Washington. I hope everybody comes, because everybody marching but us. They done had everybody out there. Black folk need to go to Washington and say, wait a minute, this is our agenda, dealing with our voting rights, dealing with our killing Affordable Care. Then we need to say we need to have periodic town hall meetings to measure what we voted for. I have rallies every Saturday in Harlem. People need to be accountable on a continual basis to the people that voted for. I keep telling some of these black preachers and leaders, you keep talking for people that you don't talk to. You keep leading people you don't even like. We need to relate and hold everybody accountable.
All right, as we close out, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think black men need to understand about their power and their responsibility in shaping what comes next as we celebrate America 250? Starting with you, Congressman.
If you didn't have power, they wouldn't be trying to silence you. If your vote didn't matter, they wouldn't be trying to take it away. If they didn't like you, they wouldn't be trying to look like you. So you've got to see your own beauty. You've got to see your own strength. You've got to recognize how powerful you are, and then you've got to use your power. Listen, having power and leaving it in your drawer does nothing for our community. Having power and using it is when it matters. Do not, Rev, hide your gifts. Use them, because one day you will be asked, what did you do
That's right.
with your gifts?
Congressman Troy Carter, make some noise, please. Thank you. Rev?
We need to challenge black men that when we had no rights anyone was bound to respect, when we were named after our slave masters, when it was against the law to read and write, we still found a way to go forward. And here we are with more than any generation of black men before us. We have more to work with. We have more to fight with. We have more to pass on. We've got, do you realize Martin Luther King never knew what a cell phone was? Fannie Lou Hamer never knew what the internet was, and they turned this country upside down. You got 2 cell phones in your pocket, all kind of equipment at the house, talking to everybody about nothing. We need to use what we got to get what we want.
Use what you got to get what you want. On behalf of Congressman Troy Carter, the legendary Reverend Al Sharpton, I am Kenny Burns, the Culture Man. Thank you for coming. This has been the Suede Lounge, America 250.